Hello, I'm Wendy and this is Summer Bay Studio. I've been working on what I call an endless journal. I just started it not that long ago, and today I'm going to be working on some more pages, and it's a glue book. Now, a glue book, you might be going, what the heck is that? It's kind of like an old-fashioned scrapbook where you just put in the things that you really want to see, or you can do it like with a lot of design in mind. It's whatever you want to do, but you don't have to leave space to write in like a junk journal. And it's different from an art journal because you can paint or not paint, or you can, use art supplies however you want to. But mostly I'm using glue and probably a bit of painting in this one. So let's get started on it. So these are the pages that I'm working on, and I finished this part. These ones go together. You see the color theme. And I worked on one on the back of this, so today I'm going to work on one on the back of this, and it's done with a magazine page, but for the most part I'm probably going to be covering that up. So what I'm going to use here today, I'm going to use, instead of glue, I'm going to use this matte gel and just put it on with a paintbrush because it's easy to do. Let's see, I've got a little piece of plastic left in there. And what I want to start with is just a damp brush. So mush that around, or just swish it around in the water, get the air out of the brush. And then use my handy dandy painting rag to get the most of the moisture out of it. So I've got this background picture. What I want to do is go with a color palette. The picture that I'm going to use for the basis of the color palette is this one, and it's got these soft blues and some cream color and pale brown and the browns in the chair and sort of the straw color, a little bit of blush pink. And so what I want to do first is I'm not going to put this down first because I want it to be over top of the other things. So I'm putting down some other papers, and like I said, I'm using the matte gel to glue them down. Now you can use ordinary glue. I've got glue here that I mixed up. It's just white glue mixed half and half with water, so it's obviously water soluble glue. I could use that, but I just got this and I want to use it and see how it works and that sort of thing. So I've chosen a few pieces that will work with this, and just with the color theme, and just keeping this sort of here. And so I don't need that guy just yet. I pulled out some stuff, and we're gonna make it happen here. I think I like that. I'm not quite sure, but I do like this. And then I've also got this one. So I think what I'm gonna do is just tear this out. I want things to just be soft, and I'm gonna go over it with gesso anyway, so it'll just soften everything again. So I think I'll put that one there, and I'm just going to kind of lay them out. Let me see, just kind of wherever. Could use an edge here, so I might as well, maybe I'll do that this way. So it comes out to the corner, and then it can overlap with this one. And also, just to keep in mind that these pages, because they've got so many layers of paper and glue, are going to be stiff. It almost comes out like a board book, but that's okay. And using something like this, which is a light cardstock, is going to have a different effect than something like this, which is just paper and fairly thin. So what I want to do here is I'm not going to cover up these binder cut marks, and that was made with this Happy Planner punch. And when I first got it, I messed that up. But now I figured it out how to make it work. But I don't want to have to punch it again and possibly miss it. So I'm going to just leave a little bit of space there up to where the holes are. And let's see, what do we got here? I'm just kind of randomly tear some paper in here. Let's see. That can overlap there. This one can go in here. Now I have a little space there. And let's see where she covers. Yeah, still need something in the middle here. So I think I'll put this bird. Something like that. It'll go in there somewhere. So I'm just going to layer these in and just start putting them down. Now, one thing I know I need to do is I'm just going to put this down first because I really don't want my pink thing here to get covered with stuff, and I don't care about this piece of paper, so let's just do this like this. So this actually acts like a white glue, but it does dry fast, so I might switch it out. I don't know. I have to work kind of quickly with it. Get those edges down, and you can put it on both surfaces, and then you can go over it if you want as well, but I'm going to go over it with white gesso. Yeah, that looks nice. That works. That works. And then I've got these pieces. Let's see. I also have this one, which I didn't use. So I might use that instead of one of the others here. Let's put this one down. Well, that way it'll just overlap the other one. And as you can see, it does make the paper curl because there's a certain amount of moisture in it. That always happens. Now, does it want to stick on this end? Obviously not. So I'm going to press it down like that. Get some underneath there. It wants to curl right up. So I'm going to glue it like this. So I got a little blob over here. And then I think that one is going to go there. So using this method, if the glue gets, or the gel gets on paper and I happen to put the front of the picture in it, that's okay too, because it's clear. It dries completely clear and leaves a nice finish. So this is actually the first time I've owned this kind of gel. I used it once, I think a week or so ago, but it's the first time I've actually bought it and owned it. So I need to just line this up, possibly, hopefully, straighter than that. And press it down. And again, I can go over these edges and get them kind of squashed down. Now, I think I'll put this bird right like that, although I do want to take off this dotted line. It's just like a perforation line. And then we'll, oops, come back here. Get this background in, and then I'm going to go over it with gesso. And gesso, all these supplies you can get in an art supply store, you can buy them at a craft supply store like Michael's. I don't get anything for mentioning Michael's, but that happens to be where I bought some of my stuff. So, because where I live, there's not a lot of choices in where to buy things except for online, and sometimes you don't know what you're getting online, so you want to kind of try it first or order it from somewhere and, you know, make a little bit of an order and see what happens. This out to the very edges so that the edges are stuck down. Now this, I don't have it done to here yet, but I'm going to do that. Let me see. I don't want it on the other side because the other side's already done. So I'm putting this here on this corner, just down to the corner. And then I'm going to go under here and finish off the edges, because it does dry quickly, and it can be, you know, one side can be dry before you get the other side on a bigger piece like this. So I'll just put that down there, stick some of that down. This side doesn't matter so much because my lady's going to go over that. And I think that's all I need to do with this. It's kind of a job to keep on top of not getting too much stuff out at once, because I tend to do that. I just like launch right in, get it all out, just have at it, and then go, uh-oh. So this is acrylic paint too, basically. They're both just acrylic paint. One is clear and one is white. This one is, it's called white gesso. And I just want to give it kind of an old-fashioned look, but also allow the pictures in the background to show through a bit. Not too much. And you could put this on in different ways. You can actually, if you put on rubber gloves, or medical gloves, whatever they're made out of now, you can put it on with your fingers. But I decided to do it this way, mainly because I don't like having mucky hands. And I'm going right over this edge here so that it kind of blends in. Let's get all this up here so that I don't have any bare patches. And then my lady with the child is going to go in this section here. So I'm going to put her down while this is wet. And then, here she is. Yeesh. Must not be my day. Anyway, no, I'm not going to say that. It is my day. It's your day. It's our day. I want this to go up against all those little cut marks like that. I'm going to use the other clear stuff underneath so that I can get the edges down. And then I just have to let it dry. So this can go along here like this. Just press that down into place. This little book doesn't need too much. This little head, I think that's maybe going to stick. So afterwards I'm going to go over it again with the clear, probably the whole thing. I'm not sure yet, actually. Wait and see. Okay, so that's all I can do at the moment. I have to let this dry, but fortunately it doesn't take very long. Okay, this isn't completely dry, but I think it's dry enough. And I'm just going to wipe that wet stuff off there. I end up with it on my fingers, whether I try not to or not. Now what I want to do is choose pieces that work with... Wait, I'm going to turn this over because, like I said before, I don't want stuff on the back which is already decorated. And you can tell I've used this for all kinds of experiments. So what I want to do is choose things that go with this color palette, and this is the soft blues and the browns, and I pulled out a few things. So I've got this, which is kind of there, but because there's blue showing through here, it's a little bit iffy. It could work, but maybe not. This one is quite a good match. I've got some birds here. Just did kind of a cursory look through things. So here we've got these colors here, and the blue, it's a little bit off, but that's okay. So if I were to put this in here, even though the colors go, the tone doesn't go. So here's a sweet picture of a mother reading to her tiny child, and here's birds of prey. So it's kind of a no-go. So I don't want that. There's this little sparrow, which is quite sweet, and I guess it goes this way because those look like oats it's perched on. So that one is kind of usable. And then I want to look at what else I've got. So I'm going to move this one just so I don't set anything on it while the gesso is still drying. And I've got all my cutouts and everything here. These are all Cicely Mary Barker's flower fairies. So if I just flip through this and looking for those colors, I might find something that's a good match. Now, what I've found is that blues are probably the hardest colors to find because, for one thing, they don't occur in nature all that much except in the sky. That one might work, but that one has the browns in it. That's a kind of. That's got lots of blue, and there's lots of them. So what I did with them to find these things is I just went to the local used bookstores and bought up everything they had. And then I was just away last week and I went to some different used bookstores in different towns. Isn't that pretty? And found some other books. And in fact, the one that I'm using for the color palette, I'll show you. I asked for books with illustrations and the owner came out with these, Poems for Grandmas, Grandmothers, and Poems for Mothers. They're beautiful little books and they do have beautiful poetry in it, but what I was interested in was all the illustrations. Now, I've already gone through this one and cut out most of the pieces and I'm working at trimming them and all that. But that's a little hint for you if you're wondering where on earth do you get these things. That's where. So let's see. Blues, browns, that, not quite. It's like shuffling cards, which I have never been good at, I have to admit. It's like, you want me to shuffle? Nah, I'm not so good at that. This is a nice blue, but I don't really want to introduce yellow. And this is like lavender, so that's, well, I'm going to put it in the maybe pile anyway. Some of them I actually cut around because it made sense to, and this one I might at some point anyway. I think that's enough. It's enough to consider. And I got these page protectors at Staples, or I think I picked up some at a dollar store too, but I've had some around for a while because I needed them for something else in the past. And I don't want this to be so lumpy that the pages won't close. Anyway, these are handy because you can see everything. Oh, come on, cooperate with me. There we go. The other thing I wanted to mention, this is a bit of an aside, if you've watched any of my other videos, you probably heard me say I'm kind of pressed for space, and I am trying to develop a system of keeping track of all these little bits. And I was in HomeSense recently, which is the same as Home Goods and TJ Maxx, and all those I think are all the same company. And I found this, and it's a makeup case, but it has the drawers that come out, and you can see everything through it. And I thought that's perfect. So I've only just unwrapped it, and I'm going to see if it will work, because I keep collecting more ephemera pieces, and then you got to know what to do with them. Okay, so here's the ones that I've pulled out of that, and here's my page, which is technically almost dry, but still feels kind of damp, and it will take a while. So what I want to do is just compare the colors here. I think that one's pretty good. That one's a no. Oh, this is really nice because it has the real blues and this same color. It's kind of fall, but that's okay. I think too much green. She attracts too much attention. I don't know why I took that one out. I think this one is best. Yep, that one is best. So these ones can go back. So far I have that. I may use this. This one's going to go back into my collection. I think I'll probably use this one. That one's pretty nice. And I think I also want some floral, something floral. So let's see what we can find for flowers. I think these are all going to be too big because I cut them out of books that had large illustrations. Like these are all way too big. I think even that one's too big. Okay, so I'm going to go to a different plan here. And this is the system that I've devised to keep track of my little things. Now this is just a little tray I got at a dollar store, and these little trays are in it, same thing. And I found that if I put them in different, to go with different sizes, that's really nice. So these are the tiny ones, these are a little bit bigger, and these are a little bit bigger. And then just stand them on edge, they're a lot easier to leave through than going from, you know, shuffle, shuffle, shuffle. So what I want here is that blue, and as you can see, that blue is not all that common. I'm going to take that out because it kind of goes. So we've got purple flowers. Wait a minute, what's this thing? Oh, that's pretty. I think that one goes. If you start with a color palette, I don't want another face on there. It makes it much easier to choose pieces that work with it. So if you go, okay, these are my colors. What works here? See, these pumpkins would work. Look how well they go. The only thing is I don't want pumpkins right now because I don't want to sort of get into fall yet. I don't even want to think about fall, to be honest. I want more summer. This would work except for the red, because the red is too red. And today, speaking of summer, it is so smoky out from the forest fires that you have to wear a mask outside now. It's crazy. And we came home over the Rocky Mountains on Wednesday and actually saw the forest fires where there's smoke coming up out of the trees beside the road. It's crazy, and it's so sad, really. I think I'll keep one of these. And you know what? I like my little labels, so I'll come back to that because I have them in the binder. So my page is starting to come together. This one I've decided against, and the birds of prey, even though the colors are good. Don't want birds of prey in here, but this is really pretty here. And I think I'm just going to put it down as is. See, it's almost stuck there now. Still trying to decide on that bird. I'm kind of leaning against it. And you know what? I'm going to just glue this one because it's a little bit easier to just go around the edges with glue. And because it's still a bit wet there on with the gesso, and it was almost sticking. Just going to get that edge down. And like I said, I'm going to probably go over it with the clear gesso afterwards. For one thing, a lot of pictures that you find in magazines and books and whatever are glossy paper, and I don't always want a glossy look. So this little guy can sit right here. I guess he must be the acorn fairy or an oak elf or something like that. And I found these ones earlier, which are just little advertisements or whatever. I like the overlapping. So these have to hang down, and they're, I think they're hazelnut tassels. So that might work there. I think one bird is enough. And I also found this little thing, which is, I don't know, it's like a little button with two children as bookends. I like this to show, so maybe I'll put that there. And then, where will this go? I like that there. This is a funny shape, so I have to kind of go, okay, where does it actually work? And the answer is probably up there. So that in that case, this one might not work. I might need to use something smaller. Like that. Like that. I'm not sure about that one today. Stamp. Okay, what I'm going to do is just start. Actually, you know what? I want something behind here, I think. I don't really want to tear that one, but I feel like it needs something here, so hold on. These things actually come together quite quickly, but often it's the decision process that's the time-consuming part. I like designing, not just sticking things down. Yes, this is what we need, one of these little things. Larger or smaller or browner or redder. Let me see, the bigger one. I think I like this first one the best. It says, 8th, Monday, snowed. I have been down to the mill for sawdust. It has been underbrushing? Never heard of that term before. Alright, I'm going to overlap that one right there, and I'm using glue for it. So in the end, with a glue book, it's kind of like a book of entertainment. It's entertaining for you to make, and it's entertaining for you to look at, and it's entertaining for other people to look at. And I really like that idea because it's kind of an old-fashioned way of entertainment, like how reading is. Now, there's one thing I don't like about this, and that's that white, but it's so intricate I'm not going to take it out. I probably could, were I to be really fussy about it. But I've cut a lot of these really tiny things out, and they're not easy. And I have really good pointy scissors too. And sometimes it's like, why did I decide to do this? Plus, it's not about perfection because there isn't any. And if you saw my last video, which was last Thursday, about how to be a confident creator, it's basically how to get over feeling like you're no good at something, or perfectionism, or, you know. It's worth a watch because there's a good idea in there. And it's kind of what I work by. It's like, don't be afraid of making a mistake, because sometimes mistakes are the best part. Okay, now what shall I put in here? I like the idea of a different shape because I've got straight lines here. I did think about distressing the edge of that, but I kind of wanted it to blend a little bit better. So I didn't do that, and I haven't done it on any of these. Should I? That would be really hard to distress, for one thing. I do want this little swirl to show, but I also want to cover this corner. So perhaps I'll do that, and this, and that. I think I'm going to go with this because when you look at the overall piece, it really works. So a little glue on the back here. Anyway, I was talking about the forest fires. Well, between Wednesday and between whatever day it was, the day when we came through the mountains and saw the fires, and today, the wind changed, and we're in heavy smoke here. So heavy that I went out to the post office a while ago and didn't wear a mask and came home with a sore throat. And the post office is literally about a 3-minute walk from here. So I did have to go back. The second time I put a mask on. Now that's a bit of a switch where you have to wear a mask outside instead of inside, like we've been doing for who knows how long. Okay, that needs to move up a little bit. This is going to land on her head a little bit, but I think that's probably okay. See, the dampness of the glue makes the paper weak. And then you get little pieces like that that don't want to stick down, or the glue squirts out, which it's bound to do. But all will be well in the end. And to get this glue off, you just kind of rub it off like that. I want to get it off because then I don't want it on other things that it's not supposed to be on. Is that making sense? Now with this one, I think I'm going to do glue along the edge. I have one in these, this one. Faded Jeans, it's called. This isn't the easiest way to do this, but because it's only one little piece. I do have one of those little what do you call it, things? These things. There. But you don't always need one, so. So this piece will go in here, just so that other design shows underneath. Now, here's something interesting. I was at my brother's place on the weekend, and they had done a real big renovation on their home. And I was standing in the living room, and I said to my sister-in-law, I don't know quite how to say this, but those paintings are too far apart, the ones on the wall. She had two paintings, beautiful pieces of artwork. She said, that's exactly what I said. But her husband, my brother, had said, no, that's how they go. So I said, well, he said, that's balanced. I said, well, there's a difference between being measured and being balanced. So when you measure something, of course it might be even on the wall, like da-da-da-da-da, but that doesn't mean it's balanced. It has to balance with the whole. So where the sofa is, and where the tall lamp is, and where the magazine basket on the floor is, all of those things have to work together to create the whole. So she said, well, let's move them. So we rearranged the living room, and it looked so much better. It just looked balanced then. So what I'm looking for when I do things like this is balance. And you can go, okay, well, it's a bit busy up here, a bit heavy, but it balances off with this. And this, you could say, it's a little bit light on the weight up here, which I agree with. It is a little bit light. And so that's why I'm going to put something else in there. Now, the question is what to put in there, because it's not a very big space. See, I could put that little fish, and that would pretty much do it. Or I could put it, yeah, it probably should go right there. But I don't think it really goes with the tone. So that's the other thing. So I'm going back to this, and I want to find a little piece that'll just fit in there that has a different shape than rectangle and round. So hopefully something that's been cut out. It's in the picture here. That's pretty tiny. That makes a little bit of a statement and balances that. Now, here's something right here. There's another one. That is better color, but it's kind of big for the space. And there's that one. Let's not make up our minds just yet. Okay, these ones actually go somewhere else, but what I want to do here is have a different shape and a different direction, perhaps. I think that looks best, don't you? Did you notice the difference? Another option here is the butterfly drawer. In which case we want a tiny butterfly in, let that one go, in that sort of color. So let me move this one because we don't need it. Throw this back in. And let's try the butterflies. I think that one works, except that it's a little on the big side. This one actually is even better for color, but also a little on the big side. There's a dragonfly, that would work. And there's a yellow bug and a red bug. Don't want those. So one of my jobs is to separate these things so that they're better size, because it's so hard to find the small ones in amongst the large ones. That one's pretty, but it's, I think, too busy and not on point for color. It would work, but, you know, not great. All right, I think I've exhausted the butterfly options. So maybe that one. Let's see. These ones I'll just put aside. Okay, let's see what works in this little spot. Like I said, that's the same butterfly appearing again and again. So, does it work? No, because it overlaps too much. Does this one work? It does actually. Also the feather works, but I think for topic. Now the one thing I could do is actually just cut that butterfly down, but I think instead I'll use this one. And before I put it down there, because the brown is not really brown, it's not really the color I'm looking for, I'm going to just use this and change the color so that it matches better. So this one goes here. Now look at the difference. It ties in so much better with this color. So if you've got the supplies, you know, just this is a set of, I think it's 60 plus Prismacolor, but you certainly don't need that many. If you've got the supplies, then it increases your options. And so what I'm doing with this then is it will go in here. By the way, I will put a link to some of these supplies that I've used below, so you can go find them for yourself. All right, now I could leave this just like this, or I could go over it with the matte gel, and I'm really torn because I think everything is stuck down really well, and I don't think I need to. So when I look at the other side where I didn't do that, and some of them have popped up a little bit because the glue just didn't want to stick in that spot like that, this would be a good page to go over. This one, I don't think it needs it so much. So there's our finished page. My butterflies can go away, and as you can see, like, I didn't use everything I got out. I tried it first, and I could say, well, maybe I should put this down here. That would kind of work, but I really love this wicker look. I could put a feather in here, but does a feather really go? It kind of goes, but kind of. Maybe, maybe not. I could also put one of these in here, but I've already got one. I don't want to repeat those kind of shapes, is what I'm saying. So if I were to put something in there, something tiny right down in here would work. But, oh, I thought of something else. You know what I want to do? You're going to love this. I think you're going to love it anyway. I love it. This is a glass pen, and it's for using with ink like this. And this is gold ink. Look how gorgeous that is. I'm going to just dip it in here. Look at that, it's just beautiful. And I'm just going to put some shapes. It runs down the little grooves in the glass. So if I just go like this, it should run down there. It's not really cooperating, but just a little piece like this. Look what that adds. I think that's really pretty. Now if I want to pick that up and put it over here as well, something similar. Just a little addition. To fill those little spaces in. I think that's really pretty. However, I'm going to leave it like this because I like it how it is. There's my finished page. This will go into the glue book that has the, this has obviously become a catch-all. It connects, the pages all connect with these rings. So once I have enough pages, then I can pop them all together and they'll stay together. But when there's only one, they tend to kind of fall off. However, it won't be long because I have lots more in mind. I hope you've enjoyed this video. I hope you picked up some ideas from it. Don't forget, you can find great things to cut out like this from used bookstores. It does take a bit of searching. I've got some beautiful things on my website that I've designed myself at Summer Bay Studio. Please take a moment and subscribe to my channel and click the little bell so you get the notifications when I have a new video. And it would be lovely if you would click the like button and leave a comment. And I'll see you next time.